Did you get rested up?
Mine's here.
I know he's here.
Oh, yeah. Last
I had a
night.
long night. Did you get the book?
I did too, because you had a good night.
Hear ye, hear ye. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Tullahoma Utilities Authority meeting of June 24th, 2025. First thing on we need to do is approve the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve tonight's agenda.
I'll second it.
Got a proper motion and a second. Anybody have any heartburn about the agenda? Hearing or seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? That passes unanimously. Next item is approving previous meeting minutes. Can we get a motion? So moved.
Second.
Any discussion about the minutes? We need to do anything? I think they look all in order to me. Hearing nothing. All in favor? Aye. Say aye. Opposed? Hearing none, that passes unanimously. Next, we have customer comments on the agenda items. Anything?
No, sir.
Bill? Nothing's come over the internet. So we'll move into recognition. We received many letters. I got 4 here that I'm gonna, if you will let me read. First one's May 26, 2025. To TUA General Manager, we experienced a power outage last night that went into this morning. Mr. Eric Burton and Mr. Kyle Riddle were the TUA crew dispatched to repair the outage in our neighborhood. They did an outstanding job in the dark and in the rain. We've been serviced by TUB and now TUA since 1977. Eric and Kyle are a continuation of the long line of TUA professionals who protect our community. I watched them work continually and completely until the job was complete. They communicated with me as the work was progressed. Both men represent TUA well. Warmest regards, Temple Bowling. Next, communication was from Greg Carter. A big thank you from my family to Eric Burton and his crew who got my power restored last night. Trees were broken down everywhere and it looked like a long evening and a night with no power. But Eric and the guys kept at it and got my electricity back on late into the night. Incredible work by guys who are supported by the leaders at TUA. A job well done. Also had an email, had a problem with our home phone and want to say a big thank you to Patrick, who was the tech sent to repair it. He went above and beyond to help us, and I would like to say how much it was appreciated. Would love for his supervisor to know what great service he provided. This was from Ann and Michael Schwab. The last one came in from Michael Lynch and family. Man, your staff is so awesome. Several hour outage on my street tonight after the storm. Those folks stayed at it in the dark and got us back up tonight. So appreciative of these individuals climbing poles and whatever other craziness they do each day. Tell them thanks from the Lynches, please. We appreciate you all. So, you know, it's a testament to what our guys do in bad weather. It's appreciated. There's a few people that are nice enough to send us notes to pass on to supervisors and let the board know that we got it going on with our crews that take care of people. So good to hear that. Next, we're going to get into specific agenda action items. First one is to consider approval of TUA property and casualty and workman's compensation insurance renewal proposal distributors insurance. Let's get a motion and a second on the floor, and then we'll talk about this.
I so move.
Second.
Got a proper motion and a second, and we'll turn it over to the man, and you're going to tell us all about it.
Yeah, so first we have budgeted $310,550 for our insurance renewal. Policy allows us to auto renew up to 3 years at 3%. This is not within that 3%, but it is within the budget. It's a $24,780 or 9% increase. But Distributors Insurance is a wholly owned subsidiary of Tennessee Valley Public Power Association. So in return, because the LPC's on TVPPA, in return for that, they're giving us a $16,648 rebate, basically. So with all those numbers, I do recommend approving this insurance premium of $309,258.
Question, that discount that they're giving us, does that come off the 9%?
They actually just send us a check for that.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just get a check once we sign the agreement.
Then we put that back in the general fund? This is something we don't bid out, right?
No, we're, like I said, they're a wholly owned subsidiary. I would doubt we would
Do any better?
do any better. Is that accurate, Jason?
Yeah, they're the only bid we received last
Yeah.
year. So.
Yeah, let me ask you a couple of things, being a background. I consider being virtually stable, even though the increases, but with the rebate, I actually do keep up with what's going on, and premiums as a whole have really been jumping. So I consider this a pretty damn good deal. I don't know, without reviewing the coverages, I don't know how I'm sure they're reinsured well, all the things that I would be looking for if I was doing with a, it's not, I'm assuming it's not a totally owned insurance company by them, or is it?
It's a wholly owned subsidiary of TVPPA. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we've had them for years, I think.
Yes.
We've had very good,
That's good. I'm just saying that.
And a third party reviews
yeah.
the increases, and that's included in the board packet. And
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm just saying that I think that's,
Yeah.
it turned out to be a pretty good deal from what I heard.
So, yeah, and just a comment, we all received the TV PPA magazine, and after having reviewed the information and letter that we were given explaining the different parts of the policy and what's gone up, what's gone down, and why, so it was interesting to find in this magazine, it was a discussion of distributors insurance and their role and how they manage the insurance specifically for the industry. And some of the challenges, upcoming challenges. So that was kind of interesting to find the two things coming up at the same time.
Right.
So.
But this doesn't include workers' comp.
Yes, it
does.
Yeah.
That's everything.
Yeah.
Comp is the only thing that I've seen coming down. It's crazy. Okay.
I've got a question about the surplus bound vehicles. Do we anticipate replacing these soon?
some of the vehicles have already been replaced. Most time when it gets to surplus, we've already purchased the vehicle. And then we'll turn around and sell it on, what's the website? Gov Deals.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, that passes unanimously. Next consideration is consider approval of water and wastewater budget and resolution for the Tennessee Comptroller's Office. Who wants to handle that?
Motion.
Got a motion before we discuss it.
I so move. I recommend that the board approve FY26 water and wastewater budget resolution 062425 as presented in order to comply with the requirements of Tennessee Comptroller Treasurer.
Second. We got second.
I got a motion and a second to the second. And now we can discuss.
So we do this yearly. Basically, the Comptroller's Office, our budget's not formatted in the way that they have to have it. So Jason and his team reformat it. Nothing changes, none of the numbers change, just a different format.
Any other discussion or any other questions about that?
Is that a normal accounting procedure to include depreciation of assets as an
Yes.
expense?
The way we've always done our budget is more of a cash flow budget, which is, a lot of businesses do operate that way. But generally accepted accounting principles requires depreciation to be in the budget, and that's what the comptroller goes by. So we have to do an adjustment to the presentation of our budget to include that.
And they like it to be in at a certain time, so. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, that passes unanimously as well. Last specific agenda item is consider approval to purchase the Terex LT 40 bucket truck for the fiber department. Can I get a motion?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board approve the purchase of the T-Rex. T-Rex?
T-Rex. T-Rex or T-Rex?
Sure want to do that? LT 40 bucket truck under Sourcewell contract 110421-TER at a cost of $198,000, $198,338, which is within the approved budget.
Second.
Got a proper motion and a second. Let's talk about this purchase of the fiber truck.
So historically, we've had one truck that is utilized on our backbone fiber. And with the growth that we're experiencing, we're installing or splicing a lot of new backbone fibers in, putting a lot of new cabinets in. So we're hoping to purchase this truck for another fiber tech to do basically drops, hanging lights to people's houses. This will enable us to perform those more efficiently.
What's
So-
the Sourcewell, excuse me,
It's similar to the state contract where the companies give them the lowest price, so you avoid bidding the process out. So you're already getting the lowest price possible.
Just like to add, this was something that the fire department has been needing for a few years now. Because I think they had the electric department use the same truck.
Yeah, the electric department owns the backbone fiber.
Right.
So that's the current fiber, what we call fiber budget, is really an electric asset. This will be a fiber department owned bucket truck.
Back to the Sourcewell cooperative, they're just taking a step away from us so we don't have to
Yes.
send it out for bid.
That's right.
That's approved by the state? They said
Yes.
that's hunky-dory? Are there other people besides Sourcewell? How do they get to do it?
Well, we buy, like, if we were buying an electric pickup right now, it's on the state contract. So this is a state-approved contract.
Right, but I'm saying, how does Sourcewell get to be the governing body of taking those bids in?
Private bid.
Yeah, they bid on that. Now, we could choose to bid it out.
No, I'm just wondering how, after taking some continuing education hours about all this kind of stuff, I look, in another 5 years, I'll like, oh, are we doing exactly, I know we are, but
Yeah.
I sometimes want to know, how did Sourcewell, how did the state of Tennessee how did they, if it's hunky-dory with the comptroller's office, it's hunky-dory with me.
It is, but I will do the research.
Well,
To find
because
the how.
I know when we bid stuff out, a lot of times we'll, open bids and we've got three. And
Yes.
the government contract price is usually the best, not always, but most of the time. So,
I noticed too, the delivery date is December.
pretty good,
So
Which is
Good.
better.
better than
Yeah, that is really good.
better than a year and a half. All right, we've got a motion and a second. We've talked this to death, I guess. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, we approve that unanimously. Next thing we're going to get into is committee reports. Policy Committee, do we have anything in the last month? I don't think so. Rate Committee, nothing. Do we have anything in the future, you think, Alan, about
Yes.
either one of those?
Both policy and rate committees,
Be Ready Committee.
Shannon will work to get a meeting scheduled for some items.
Okay.
We want to discuss.
Next, we're going to get into departmental reports. Tell us all about it.
A little bit of a shorter report this month. But across departments, we've been talking about how to attract and retain new light tube customers. So specifically right now, we're working on strategy at re-engaging previously canceled commercial accounts. So updating messaging and trying to understand maybe where some of the pain points were that led them to leave light tube, and then hopefully get that business back. Eric Burton and I met with TVA to discuss ways that we can better support and engage our current larger commercial accounts, and then also better connect our residential customers with a lot of the TVA energy rate programs. Eric and I also met with hospital leadership to discuss some upcoming work that will better support the hospital's operations, and then we shared some information on some TVA programs that align with some of the hospital's reliability goals and energy efficiency goals. And then this one is hot off the presses as of yesterday, I guess, but we've established a new partnership with Christopher King Weather. If anybody is on Facebook and gets their weather from him, he's very popular, based here in Tullahoma, and does some special coverage of severe weather events. So we've given him access to our downtown, Wilson Ave, and airport cameras, which will help him to provide more accurate and timely weather updates to the community, especially in some of those severe weather events. And then lastly, this isn't released publicly like on social media yet, but we've captured drone footage and then some action camera footage of some work happening. It was on East Moore Street, but we'll be looking to do more of that kind of coverage and storytelling to help educate the community on the work that our crews do. So it's just a different perspective. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
I'm standing in for Dale tonight. Dale is battling tendonitis in his hip and back, and it's been really rough on him. So just keep Dale in your thoughts and prayers. He worked today. He had to sit in his desk or in his chair all day, and so just remember Dale. But his crew is working on Sagewood subdivision. Those water lines are installed and I believe ready to go. They're starting in Lincoln Station. They're also working on East Lincoln water project, and Prince is doing a lot of the work, but because of the cost of the bid when we did this last year, it came in over budget. So our crews are doing a lot of the bores on that project to save some dollars. And then Bonnaroo was canceled, and we actually budget, for Bonnaroo wastewater because we take their wastewater down at our treatment plant. But luckily, even though they canceled Bonnaroo, we still came in over budget. Am I saying that right, Jason?
Right at budget.
Right at budget.
I mean, it's close.
So in a day, we processed as much as we do in 4 days?
Yeah, well, no. The rates went up this year. So
Worked out.
we didn't really adjust upward. So thankfully, because if not, we would be in a pickle in our budget that you already approved. So we will be keeping a close eye on Bonnaroo because we budget for that every year.
Yeah.
And if they cancel Bonnaroo, we'll have to,
Have a contingency.
have it. That's exactly right. Any questions about water and wastewater? Good deal.
Thanks, Dale.
Thank you.
As Emma was saying, she's going to give you a different perspective on how all the guys work and what they do. But as far as the updates goes, on the Stillwater subdivision, progression has really slowed. The developer with weather and possibly even the sales of homes, that work has slowed down a little bit. The Pine subdivision is 100% electrically complete. The fiber pool has also been complete. It just lacks going in and fiber splicing. Sagewood, the developer is still kind of in the same shape. I believe he was waiting on conduit. He's probably got his conduit in by now, but the weather has been holding them up as well. I was told the Legacy Preserve townhomes, the second set of townhouses is almost complete, and they've been scheduled to set final meters. Our AMI update, we have approximately 5292 meters installed as of today. And we are going to have to take another break from meter changeouts because of our inventory. We're just waiting on our next shipment. The East Moore reconduct, the new conductor is pulled and energized, and the crews are in the process this week and hopefully next week be able to finish transferring the load over to the new conductor, and they are also transferring the fiber on each pole that they pass. I was going to do a different kind of update on Kings Lane and Country Club as far as what was going to go on there. They actually started that project today on the electric side, and they finished it today. So,
Wow.
big shout out to the guys. I mean, Kyle Riddle and his bunch. and it was very hot and humid out there today. I was out there for a while with Eric Burton, and it's just incredible to watch them work. It really is. Lincoln Station, I think we touched on that earlier, but Lincoln Station, the wastewater has started. They have started. They're working on the drainage and lot clearing there, so electrically we'll be a little further down the road. Throneberry Apartments on Cedar Lane, excavation has started today. They've started clearing and digging and
Cutting.
and cutting. That's right, I didn't want to say that, but they did cut our primary to some of Cedar Lane apartments, so we did get that up as quickly as we could. Safety updates. We had 19 employees complete the CPR certification. We've worked on revising TUA's emergency response plans and working to revise TUA's safety and health program. And again, Eric Burton, y'all hear that name a lot because he's a go-getter. But he started holding monthly safety training programs with the wastewater department, as well as our Monday morning weekly line crew meetings. So he's a busy guy. Fiber-wise, we were -1 for the month of May. It's not the end of the world, but it is something that we kind of take highly of. We don't like to lose any customers. We have partnered with a vendor called Arctic Wolf, who does a lot of traffic monitoring, endpoint protection, cyber security assessments. So we have implemented several of the features to their programs over the last couple of weeks, and it is performing well. And we do have our new UPS that we put in a year and a half ago is scheduled for its first battery maintenance, which should take place tomorrow.
What UPS?
It's the main UPS in the head end. It's for the AC part of the head end does all of our video receivers, and this is just where it runs. It's a UPS, uninterruptible power supply, where it's running on battery power. So if you lose line, the batteries continue the load side of it.
Gotcha.
Any questions on electric and fiber?
I got one question. Where are those apartments on Cedar Lane going?
It is just in between Cedar Lane Apartments, or the Tullahoma Housing Authority, and NHC.
Oh, okay.
And it is I believe his name is Throneberry Construction. Sorry, I can't remember his first name. He is out of Murfreesboro, and it's 44 units this first set, and he says if it goes well, there'll be additional ones.
And I assume that was on Harton property. Is that area in between there? Of course.
It goes on the back.
Good guess.
Stagger wings.
Good guess.
Is that our?
No, it's
on up front.
You know where the woods is?
Yeah.
Right, where you pull out of Continental, you're gonna pull right into there.
So
Just right across
Okay.
the street.
Okay.
That's correct.
They'll have to work on traffic a little bit.
They may have to widen that road too. That's gonna be a
You have
mess.
to get the state involved.
Two-lane road.
Take care of it.
Do you think the state would be willing to get involved in that?
If we have
Possibly.
enough
enough
clout
traffic.
as a city,
Yeah,
we'll go in.
Cause it's gonna be a bottleneck with all that. It's a bottleneck now.
It's a Board of Mayor and Alderman issue.
Do we have any other questions for our electrical department? Thank you.
Which I want to talk to you.
I'm absolutely all in favor of it if you can find the money to do it. It's been needed.
You just found some.
You didn't find the money to do it.
We just broke even.
All right, here we go.
All right, I'm gonna give you the update for the administration department. Financial closeout, we completed the April financials for our meeting tonight. So you'll see those in your packet, and we just closed out our financials for May, so they'll be ready for the July meeting. Audit work, we're still odds and ends stuff pulling for the auditors, and they'll be back in August, so it'll pick back up around the 1st of August. We do have the AMI project, as Brian mentioned. over 5,000 meters we changed out, and we work hand in hand with the engineering department to get the bills out correctly. So that's been a pretty eye-opening project. Working with Brad and seeing some of the stuff they can do is pretty amazing. So very appreciative of their help with that. The NISC project, we're full throttle. They'll be on site at the end of July. So it's coming along, and Jason Ray has worked diligently on it, and I appreciate all his work on it because it's allowed me to spend some time with AMI to make sure that everything is going well with it. So, and I think that's really all I've got. Not as cool as everybody else's, but
Thank you very much.
We got a team effort going.
teamwork.
All right. It's all the departmental reports. Now we'll get ready for board member comments. We're going to start with Mr. Stanton. Give us some comments.
Thank you, Chairman.
You're welcome.
This may sound like an ad, but the Facebook post, I don't know, those of you who use Facebook, look at the Facebook post that TUA does. Recently, they had a power advisory, how to conserve energy. They had power outage alerts and a map. I believe you had a map.
We have an outage map, yes.
Outage map. And just a reminder to everybody, remember, don't forget to contact your neighbors, your friends, your relatives, because Lighttube is the only local provider for delivering fast, reliable internet, TV, and phone service. So I want you to know, and also remember the football season is coming up. And we're also the only one that provides all the football games and the commentary. And so please consider joining Lighttube and TUA. Talked to a fellow this morning, matter of fact. He lives out in the county, one of the counties. He said, I just had a power outage. I said, a power outage? He said, yeah, I just had a power outage. I said, I bet you'd like to join Lighttube and TUA, wouldn't you? He said, yeah, I would.
Move to table.
Attended the APPA conference in New Orleans, very informative, and came to know even more fully how much people wish they were in the TVA circuit. These people that live up in New England and out on the West Coast and in Nebraska and everywhere else, they don't have it as good as we do. Now, TVA is not perfect, but it's a great provider of power, and they wish they had it. Another thing about watching Lighttube is they got a cooking class. Sarah and I were eating a sandwich today for lunch, and I turned on Channel 6, and Kelly Lapsinski and Chris Parstead were cooking up some sliders with some avocado and mango dressing to them. And I just thought to myself, I bet the ladies out there are enjoying watching this concoction of pork. It was pork. Chris had pork there in a big pot, and then they dressed it with the mango.
I'm a little disappointed we didn't have any tonight.
Next time.
Next time. I think that's all I've got, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. JT.
First and foremost, I really hate that I missed the APPA. I think it's the first time I missed it. Sure, it was a great conference. It usually is. Don't really have a report. I'll let Miss Patty talk about the PMC also. We attended the Zoom meeting, the monthly Zoom meeting of the APPA Policy Makers Council today. The legislative rally is coming up next month, be prior to our next scheduled meeting. A couple of things going on there. The legislative rally, short version, is held twice a year, and it's where we go to the legislatures, go to the Capitol building and try to talk to them about legislation that's proposed on the books that affects positively or negatively public power. And there's several things that we need to talk about with our legislators. Our job is to talk to our Tennessee delegation. And to date, we have not been able to schedule any meetings with anybody. Could happen within the next couple of weeks. It started just a little bit over a month ago.
Not even Desjardins?
Nobody. And I talked to the representative on the board from Memphis. His name is Carl Pearson. He has not been able to schedule a meeting. As late as today, I called again to a couple of them, and they asked me to resubmit the email. And I've even tried to talk to the staff there. So, not for sure, what's going on, but this is a very important meeting at a very important time, because some of the things on the book are really not good for what to support our needs for, particularly for the big infrastructure that we have to put in place for all that's going on here. The loans that we get. And so there's some legislation in there that
Would affect it.
that currently, if there's some components or some things that we have going on now that were within the rules when we started, could be stopped. So it's very important. So anyway, hopefully we'll have someone there. Hopefully both of us be there, but if not, we're going to assure that Miss Patty is to go, and we're trusting that Patty will be a member of the Policymakers Council starting October, right? Okay, so hoping that comes out well, but we'll be able to give a report at the next meeting as to what went on there.
Okay.
That's all I have. Oh, want everyone to have a safe
4th of July.
4th of July, and if the temperature is like it is, let me tell you, pre-hydrate. If you've ever had a heat stroke, or if you ever, and I have one time, it's not anything you can do once you start spiraling. You can't drink enough. So if you're going to be out in this weather, please pre-hydrate. Start early, okay? That's all I have.
Thank you, Dick. Patty?
Yeah, so today I was on the first Zoom meeting. There's a monthly Zoom meeting for the policymakers board or group. And so as unfortunately JT's term is going to be up, so, I've been asked to take his place, at least to fill out his term with the Policymakers Council. And so I'm hoping that we're both going to DC. If not, I'll be going and representing TUA, and really at this point representing Tennessee.
That's right. That's right.
And so this is a national group. So anyway, I'm trying to get up to speed, looking through a lot of policy papers, a lot of acronyms.
You like that?
I love it.
And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. So other than that, I wanted to just bring people's attention to the Tennessee Connections magazine. And when we first moved to the area and started getting our bills from TUA, and there was the one-page flyer that was in there, you never knew what to do with that. And I love the Tennessee Connections magazine. A lot of people should know we actually purchase 4 pages in here, and it becomes just a really great thing you can have. So things that explain what TUA does, and including, I loved the section on water, because I don't think people really realize all the things that we do. So Alan put in here, we have 270 miles of underground water mains, 8 elevated storage tanks. Now, I know everyone's like, this, like, I could figure out like 4 maybe. I don't know where they're all at. And that on average, our customers use about 3.5 million gallons of water every day. That's amazing. So, lots of really good information, and then just so grateful to our crews who, in the midst of all these development projects, take care of our customers with the storm damage, and they're just doing such a great job. Unbelievable amount of work that they do. So, and that's it.
Mr. Tullahoma.
I don't know if I can cover that much. I really enjoyed the APPA conference. I've been really impressed. I had, through the course of my occupation, a lot of opportunities to attend conferences. And they're definitely on the scale or above various things that I have had an opportunity to attend. I'm sorry that JT could not attend. We tried to let you know what was going on, especially in the food.
I appreciate that.
Especially in the
I was
food
crying like a
line.
baby. I do appreciate y'all making me feel bad.
Miss Patty
Keeping me engaged in that.
involved. I was totally impressed with the speakers, the 3-note speakers. One of them was worked for CBS, but he gave the insight. He had a personal relationship with President Trump, had a relationship with Biden. It was not a political talk. It was more of the personalities of the individual. We had a financial advisor, very impressive. She was talking about the loans, potential situations, maybe the tightening of money. But again, she was very impressive, and unfortunately, we had to end the thing with Jerry Rice. I think that would be a guy to really hang out with. He's laid back and was very entertaining, and also the various meetings within the meeting that we had an opportunity. One of them that I thought was interesting is the future of electric cars. I thought the thing that stuck out the most, people aren't going to charging stations. The charging is happening at home, which I have a friend that lives out in California, Phoenix area, and she has an electric car, and what she does, she bought it because her work was in 25 miles, and she went there and then could come home and plug it in. So I thought that was an interesting observation. Also, the discussion on AI and the power use. I think it's Amazon, and some of these are actually buying power or helping develop power plants for their own use. Also heard that New York State is actually, I think it's the first that is going to build a nuclear power plant. And the point being is that the regulations that I think that has stymied it over the years has now been eased. Plus there's a lot as far as safety and the types of reactors that they have from a safety standpoint. It to me is real comforting, but I think that's where I feel a lot of the future is heading. It's clean and it's efficient, and you can get a big bang for your buck. But I do appreciate that.
New York's among many of those states. The price of electricity is much higher than it is in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And that would justify
You're right.
considering a nuclear plant.
Well, I
These
think
smaller
that's,
modules.
I think that's going to happen. I think Tennessee was mentioned as apparently being looked at. The existence of ADC, one of the major factors was cheap electricity. So we're blessed to have that. The end.
Thank you. I was unable to go to the APPA, but you said, I've always been impressed at those conferences, the keynote speakers are always top notch.
They are.
Very good. And they also have the thing where they support the Navajo Nation light up, what was that called?
You light up Navajo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had that as
They're big
well.
time on that.
So,
Oh, guys, we missed you too.
Yes, we did. We did.
We missed you the last 2 times.
you missed your melon bowl, probably. My comments, thank you to all the guys. Other people have talked about this, that go out when it's bad, and we had nice letters and recognitions from our customers thanking the guys that go out and put things back together and get them back online. It's yucky weather, they're out, they're getting it. So we really appreciate those guys. We couldn't do it without you. It's just not them, it's the whole crew. So appreciate all that you do for us. That's all I have. We'll turn it over to the president. We have, first thing is customer comments general.
No, sir.
No, so. All right, you're the man.
Externally to TUA, it's what I refer to as meeting season. I'm thankful for the great report that the board's given from TVPPA annual meeting in Biloxi and APPA annual meeting in New Orleans. They're great meetings. You get a lot out of the meetings. Hear what other utilities are doing. We share what we're doing at TUA. So they're really great meetings. And then last week I was at a Valley Partners meeting in Franklin, which is an annual meeting that TVA has with all the LPCs. And I think everyone's aware TVA's undergone a lot of leadership changes. They have a new CEO. It is the most transparent TVA meeting I've ever been involved in. So, they're really opening up, talking about, generation issues, financial challenges that they may have. So it was a really good and productive meeting. Next month is the TMEPA annual conference in Nashville, so I look forward to that. Internally, our team is laser focused on NISC and AMI still, and I can't emphasize enough the challenge that these two projects are if we were doing them one at a time, and we're doing them at the same time. It's extremely challenging. Jason's department is feeling the brunt of it right now simply because NISC is starting in the financial part of their software. So he's dealing with transitioning from their local government software to NISC software, and in addition, he's got to get the bills out right with the new AMI system that we're using. So they're doing phenomenal at it. I'm super proud of them, and that's our focus right now. I would also mention that we're laser focused on that, but as you see the work that goes on in the community, that doesn't stop. So they're having to do their day-to-day work in addition to these two new projects that we're taking on. And that's all I have.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Anything else to come before the board? Hearing and seeing none, I adjourn this meeting.